Welcome to episode 12 in December, when I love my habit to celebrate community, family, and friends. December's habit is to celebrate community, family, and friends. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Happy New Year always begins with Happy Old Year. In the USA, the holiday season traditionally begins with Thanksgiving, where we officially acknowledge our blessings. And among the greatest riches we have accumulated in our lives are the loving relationships, the friendships, the family and community ties that allow us to share both joys and sorrows with others we care about. Regardless of wealth and status, those who cannot share their well-being with others are impoverished indeed. And those who can are rich beyond measure. Love has sometimes been defined as putting another's well-being ahead of our own. How are we doing in this regard? In our relationships of give and take, are we giving or taking more than our share? Do we need to have more balance? What is needed to complete this year with our loved ones? Are there any undelivered communications? Any friends or family members you need to communicate with or just say hi to? Do it this month and this year. Hi, I'm Steve Bhaerman. Welcome to December's holiday season habit to celebrate community, family, and friends. I love the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin With Me. It's a modern day hymn written in 1955, and the song is the epitome of the practice of the 12 habits. Each of us is the single point of light that points us toward a new year and a new world. Peace begins with me as I bring heaven to my world by practicing the 12 habits daily. This practice of monthly habits has brought us abundant gifts and allowed us to give abundantly to others. So let's consider, what gifts have you received through the practice of the 12 habits? What gifts have you been able to give freely? Have you noticed how many of these best things in life really are free? When we freely give what is needed, and when we serve whatever scene we find ourselves in, using our talents and capacities and passions, we are living life fully. There's an old saying, an unexamined life is not worth living. Well, it's just as true that the unlived life is not worth examining. As we close out the year with a season of celebration, celebrate the life you have fully lived this year and acknowledge the unlived parts and undelivered gifts. Have that be your first order of business for next year. For this month of celebration, I decided to see what Webster's has to say about the word celebrate. Celebrate means to take part in special, enjoyable activities in order to show that a particular occasion is important. Note the word enjoyable, meaning embody joy, hence joy to the world. 'Tis the season to celebrate with family and loved ones, celebrate with community, and experience communion, or what the Swami calls communion. As you learned in our introductory episode to the 12 habits as the path to mutual enlightenment, this path is a new way to actually put our desire for unity and intentional evolution into real practices. We get to grow spiritually while at the same time, by putting these helpful habits into practice every day in real life, we achieve what Bruce Lipton would call heaven on earth, which is why he endorses the 12 habits path. Remember, the best way to get to heaven is to start there. And these habits jumpstart heaven on earth. I have found these habits are the most enjoyable way to put evolution into practice. We're doing it all together, coherently, 1 month at a time. And now I'd like to introduce my cohort in this webinar, the creator of the 12 Habits Path, Elaine Parke. Welcome, Elaine.
Steve, it's a really wonderful thing to be here with you today, celebrating the 12th month of the 12 Habit Path to Enlightenment. I look forward to a wonderful episode. I know we have a lot of things to share with everyone.
Here we are at the last month of the year, and if you've been with the 12 Habits Path from the beginning, you've habituated the first 11 habits of unity. Well, normally at this point, I would ask Elaine to introduce the habit of the month. However, this time I'm going to do a soliloquy that celebrates the gifts of the habits that she helped bring forth month by month. I see each of the habits as an intentional community, a community where people are practicing one coherent intention together 1 month at a time. And so I'm going to describe each month's gift as we celebrate them all in December. In January, you practiced intentional mutual benefit, and you now recognize this is self-help at its highest level. The golden rule: help others because they are you in another guise. In December, celebrate the mantra, may all beings be happy. Through practicing the February habit, you've discovered that you count in ways that you might not have realized. Hopefully, you've encountered countless new ways to count and to be connected to the web of life, the web of love, and your own soul and spirit. In December, celebrate your unique gifts and the gifts others have given you through who they are. In March, we practice resolving conflicts. And in doing so, you've moved your energy from the battlefield of conflict to the playing field of collaboration. Hopefully, you had more than one opportunity to practice forgiveness and free yourself from the prison of the past. In December, celebrate the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and Let It Begin With Me, as you note the opportunities you took this year to initiate resolving conflicts so that peace began with you. In April, you reconnected with your mother, Mother Earth, and found ways to heal and be healed by the natural world. And now in December, we celebrate that this year you've helped build a better habitat for humanity by inhabiting these new habits. In May, you immersed yourself in gratitude, the secret sauce that brings sweetness to life. Remember that quote from David Steindl-Rast, quote, "The root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful, it is gratitude that makes us joyful." In December, celebrate that this year you have multiplied your blessings, yours and others, by practicing gratitude. In June, you reached higher, not just stretching yourself to achieve a worthy goal, but to reach higher thought, higher love, higher power. Be grateful that you are jolted out of complacency into a new discomfort zone that brought forth your greater gifts and help you find a higher calling. Here in December, celebrate that you found greater purpose this year and you've stepped up from your ordinary life to create an extraordinary one instead. In July, you evolved January's habit of helping others by becoming more involved in the life of your community and your world. Here in December, let's celebrate that you expanded your ability to serve and notice the gifts that have come to you because you became involved. In August, you reflected on who you are in context with everyone and everything. You've taken you count to a higher level because you have found your own unique way to make a difference. In December, we celebrate that the more you know yourself, the more you love yourself. And we add new words to an old song. To know me is to love, love, love me. And all you have to do is sing that to yourself. In September, you really went for excellence and doing your best. You've even done your best while doing the menial and the mundane, so that more moments in your life are spent in the field of excellence. Now in December, celebrate that this year you've practiced being the best you can be, using the gifts you've been given to enhance life on this planet. In October, you learned to be patient and listen, to take a break from doing, to listen to that still small voice. You recognize that be patient and listen is a call to mindfulness, a secular synonym for meditation. Here in December, celebrate the gifts of patient waiting and the magic of divine timing. In November, you made the conscious choice to show a positive attitude, not through denial, but by radical acceptance. You've learned you can choose to feed the wolf of love and joy regardless of the circumstances. In December, celebrate your capacity to laugh and to transform your own mood and bring beneficial energy to the world around you. And with that, I finally want to acknowledge Elaine Parke for having the courage, vision, and persistence to bring these habits to the world. I'm sorry if I embarrassed you, Elaine, but your red face goes very nicely with December's green background. So please tell us about the December habit and the color evergreen.
I loved your sequila.
Okay, the pronunciation is soliloquy. Let's try that again.
I love what you said. Gave everyone a wonderful chance to recap the year. And it is a wonderful year, bringing us all higher and bringing us all to the final month of the year where we celebrate community. The color for the month is one of my favorites. It's evergreen because the things that really matter are forever. And so why not make the color for the month of December evergreen? You know, community and gratitude and joy and happiness and all of the habits, you know, they all grow together and they culminate in that feeling of community that we feel ourselves a part of at the end of the year. The holiday season actually begins in Thanksgiving, which is still in November, and goes through the end of December. So it's not tidy like our habits, just a little bit longer. But nonetheless, the holiday season starts, and not quite unlike February, where they're celebrating Black History Month for the whole month, we already know we're moving into a period when we're celebrating community, when helping others, which is January's habit, is very important as a part of December. So December really is the month when all of these come together. And most of all, it culminates in our sense of tradition. And one of the things that I like most about December is that many people of different traditions are actually all celebrating their different traditions, respecting one another's different traditions, but nonetheless, they're all together in those celebrations and sharing the joy of community and the joy of life. And that's what makes December really special.
Well, you know, to be honest, many people have mixed or maybe even negative feelings about the holiday season. Some people are lonely, they have no family. Others are far away physically from their loved ones. Others are far away from their families emotionally and maybe dread a conflict over political and spiritual belief differences. So how can we celebrate a season of unity even if we feel separated?
What we've learned most of all as we've gone through the 12 habits is that life is contextual. And while we may be separated from loved ones, we are never separated from the community of the universe. We can extend our giving into the family of humankind, and you can extend your loving circle and express human kindness. I think something I've said many times, one of the goals of the 12 habits for me over the whole 30 years that I've been doing it is that I want to change us from humankind to humane kind. And one of the things that I love most is a single quote out of thousands and thousands of quotes from people who made comments about what the habits meant to them over the years. And there was one survey where one young person said, "I am now nice to the people I used to be mean to." I mean, what more is there? How much better can you get? So let's also keep in mind that during this month of December, when we're celebrating the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, the darkest day of the year, what we're celebrating is light. So keep your mind on the light. Be in the light of the loved ones, of your family and friends. If you don't have your family and friends around, go to an event or any place where you're going to find love and camaraderie, where you're going to feel connected and where you're going to feel that light during this period of darkness. I want to reiterate one of my favorite quotes by Will and Ariel Durant. They were historians, probably the most famous historians who ever lived. And after summarizing thousands and thousands of pages studying history and civilization, they summarized it with one sentence: civilization is just the slow process of learning to be kind. So on the path of the 12 habits, our idea is to put civility and civil back into civilization, as the Durants had hoped so many years ago. Okay, so I get a chance again, Steve. Here's a question for you. What does the season between Thanksgiving and New Year's mean to you?
Well, particularly since being exposed to the 12 habits and recognizing that it's really about producing the gifts that we've been meant to produce and receiving the gifts that others have been meant to give, I like celebrating the wealth that I've accumulated over the course of the year, the wealth of friendship and connections and community, the greatest wealth that we could have. Now, we're living in a world that's focused on quantities, on numbers, on how much, when the best things in life are not quantitative, they're qualitative. There's a quality that transcends quantity. And I think the focus on during the holiday season has been more and more taken away from this heart energy that we have and put on things. And so many times for so many years, the way the love that we really want to express has been expressed through buying things for other people. How much can you spend? How many gifts do we have under our tree? And I'm remembering that after the economic crisis of 2008, the trends was broken to a certain extent, at least in our family. Something curious happened. Several family members called us and asked, would it be okay if we didn't buy gifts for each other this year? And we said, well, of course, that's fine. And what was really great is what we were left with was what we were longing for all along, which was the quality of our loving connection with another that doesn't have to be expressed by a thing. So keep in mind that the love that you are is all you can take with you and all that you leave behind. Or as the Beatles put it, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. So this season, you can make love figuratively. You can make love figuratively by planting and cultivating the fruits of love and watching it grow in yourself and others. Now, something else I learned in the process of writing a book I wrote many years ago called Friends and Lovers: How to Meet the People You Want to Meet. And that is, if you're away from loved ones or feeling isolated, the way to bring you in touch with the people who are most going to appreciate you for who you are is to immerse yourself in activities that involve other people that bring joy to you. Dancing, hiking, playing and listening to music, cooking, exercise, being at the museum, going to lectures, etc. Anything that can be done alone can be done with other people, right? So the best things in life can be measured in quality and not quantity. And there's an understanding of this quality that transcends religion, spirituality, and even quantum physics. So Elaine, can you tell us more about this?
There's another level of physics beyond quantum physics that's sometimes known as theoretical physics. And what's interesting about it, it not only defines the universe as matter and energy, but it also includes meaning. It was conceived by, or the theory was first written by David Bohm, who was one of the proteges of Albert Einstein. And he came up with the theory when he was trying to understand efficacy of astrology and how that could be proven. You know, we all sort of generally know that there's something to astrology, but no one can really put their finger on it. And he says the key to astrology may lie in his idea of theoretical physics, specifically in his ideas. Trying to understand such mysteries as an electron's ability to be at once a wave and a particle, Bohm began talking to spiritual masters all over the world. And after nearly 20 years on this path of study, he came up with a concept that linked theorems like the Schrödinger equation to the insights of the mystics. The universe, Bohm proposed, is a hollow movement, a single unbroken entity in flowing motion, in which each part replicates the whole. The three basic manifestations of this universe in flowing motion are matter, energy, and meaning, and each enfolds the other two. The universe informs the actions of all its parts, and their feedback alters the universal flow. Perhaps Bohm's vision was presaged by the astrological principle, as above, so below. He explains it's not that Saturn sends rays to us to act Saturn-like. Rather, planets and people are part of a single process, bound together by patterns of meaning. Astrologers attempt to chart the wisdom of these patterns, but since meaning cannot be quantified, astrologers cannot, as yet, be proven with the limited scientific and mathematic means available. We are not yet capable of writing a theorem to prove the beauty of music. Music is only beautiful to those who hear. In this tumultuous time in history, where the sound of discord is drowning out the beauty of harmonious music, it is time for all of us to hear the wisdom of the one consciousness in a pattern of harmony. We are being called upon right now to allow the love energy to enter our souls, to come together in the harmony of purpose and meaning that was intended from the very beginning.
Wow, Elaine, I really appreciate this notion about the holographic universe. And in a way, there is a way to prove that. And the way to prove it, biology shows that each of us has our DNA in every one of the cells in our body, every one of the 30 to 50 trillion cells in our body. We have this same replication of our unique individuality. So somehow, even in the smallest form, that order is replicated and that order is reproduced. The whole idea is the universe is a community with no one left out. Talk about inclusive. Universe means universe. One poem, one song. No one verse versus another verse. All cohabit harmoniously, everybody participates, and everyone is needed. So that brings us to one final thought. How can we be on the path to enlightenment if we are the only one at the center of that path? We can't just save ourselves by isolating and studying and learning or even meditating unless we put our wisdom out into the world and radiate it out in all directions. That's how we can be at the center of our own path while enhancing the lives of all those centered on their path, whether we are with them in person or through resonating our coherence outward from where we are to where they are. So, Elaine, we've agreed that December is the culmination of the 12 Habits monthly path from separation to evolving our human community to unity. So each month we've highlighted the joy that comes from living in context with our glorious community, which now includes the entire universe, of which we are each a point of awareness. Elaine, do you have any closing nuggets of wisdom for us?
You know, Steve, as we're arriving here in December, I think back on the holistic nature of the 12 Habits path to unity leads us from separation and loneliness into a contextual life of love. and joy that celebrates each of us and all of us together. The name of the nonprofit that's been running this program over the last 30 years is named All of Us. And the website is 12habitsforallofus.org, because we are each of us and we are all of us. And this is the point that we have to make. And this is the point that's made so well in December. We are the quintessential part of, in spirit and in reality, the community of the universe. I found an amazing story that I believe brings the 12 Habits path to the pinnacle of its meaning and illustrates the essence of the flow of love energy that heals us all together with playful joy and happier lives as evolved humanes rather than simply humans centered on our own egos. As a coherent, evolving community together, we must not allow this story to have a sad ending. It's the story of love and ego. Once upon a time, there was an island where all the feelings lived together. One day, there was a storm in the sea, and the island was about to be flooded over. Every feeling was scared, but love made a boat to escape. Every feeling boarded the boat until only one feeling was left. It was ego. Love tried and tried, but ego wasn't moving. Meanwhile, the water was continuing to rise. Everyone asked love to leave ego behind and come to the boat, but love was made to love. In the end, all the feelings escaped and love died with ego on the island. The moral is that love dies because of ego. And it makes me think about the Cherokee parable, that perhaps the struggle between the two wolves is not one of love and fear, but the struggle is between love and our ego.
Well, that certainly lays out our choice pretty clearly, Elaine. It reminds me of this little mantra that came to me about the current condition that we seem to be in. We're all in the same boat. The Titanic is sinking, and the lifeboat is the love boat. The lifeboat is the love boat. So hopefully through these 12 habits, and as we've arrived here in December, we've gotten on board the love boat, and we're inviting other people to do that as well. We invite you in this month of December to radiate the blessings you've accumulated over the year out into the world at large, and of course the world at small, the people you see every day close up. Be the love that you are and bring joy to the world. Oh, and there's one recommended activity for this month. Go to our website, join our Facebook group, and participate. Join your story of bringing laughter and gratitude to the world and see how others are installing this practice too. And here is what's most important and why we are doing this practice together, month by month. Remember, we talked about the experiment where the transcendental meditators created a coherent field that measurably decreased crime in Washington, D.C. Well, we are asking you to join our intention experiment so that individually and together we can make measurable changes in our lives and in the world. Imagine each of us resonating these heavenly practices out in every direction so that the gift of the 12 habits keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving. And the practice for this month, instead of the usual presents, this holiday season, give your loved ones the gift of your presence, being present. How can you be with each of the important people in your life so that you're more present than ever before? Can you listen with a deeper listening and see that individual in a way you've never seen them? Can you accept that same intimate gift from them as well? Remember, when we leave this world, we leave those presents here. It's the presence we take with us. Here in December, let's celebrate that the more you know yourself, the more you love yourself. And we add new words to an old song. To know me is to love, love, love me. And sing that to yourself. In
Steve,
September,
pause.
Okay.
Okay. The part that last sentence, the part you sang, the audio went very shrill. Try not to breathe at the phone mic. So let's have that again, please.
Okay.
I loved your soliloquy. I loved your.
Breathe and slow it down. Relax.
I really loved your soliloquy. For some
Why don't you just do that and say what you said? Just do that. Just it up and say what you said. I think that'll be perfect.
We are a quintessential. I'm having trouble with it.
Quintessential. I like that new word. I'd say keep it.